How's it going, guys? I just realized a couple days ago that I missed the weekly Riffin from last week. I'm sorry about that. I had a bunch of stuff going on. Just kind of skipped off in my mind. But so I figured this week what I was going to cover was some soloing ideas. Not so much the straight ahead soloing ideas, stuff that I prefer doing. I'm not a huge shredder. I never claimed to be a very great lead player. If you haven't noticed, most of my videos don't involve much lead playing. Because probably like a lot of you, I'm self-conscious of my lead playing. It's like, you know, showing off your goodies to somebody. But some of the stuff I do like doing, at least for myself, usually if there's some sort of progression I'm playing over or some sort of backing track or something, I usually find some sort of sweet spot where I like that area of the guitar. I feel like those notes and that frequency seem to fit really well over what I'm doing. And once I find that spot, it's hard to get out of it, or a lot of times even to get to it without sounding unmusical. And one of the things I use a lot is tapping. If you haven't noticed from any of my other stuff, I do a substantial amount of tapping. But so what I figured I'd do is go over some pentatonic type riffs that I use. First of all, pentatonics, I mean, if any of you have any real formal training in any way, you probably know what pentatonic scales are. And I know a lot of people nowadays just kind of blast right past them and go over to diatonics, just because there's more notes. And like if you're, you know, if you're shredding, it's a lot easier to fit more notes into a little area. But I think pentatonics are really, really underused because they do sound better, in my opinion. There's no of those iffy notes. I mean, it is the, you know, diatonics do kind of flavor your playing to different modes and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I really still like using pentatonics, and I use them for most of my tapping stuff, just because the shapes work well. And I feel like that's something a lot of people have gotten away from, listening to older guys, like, I don't want to say older guys, but virtuosos like Satch and stuff like that. They do stick with a lot of pentatonics, and they're still amazing guitar players. A lot of basic stuff in these day and age, I think, is getting thrown out. The stuff that sounded good, even if it is an easy idea. So the hard part is making it sound not so easy. So one thing I like doing, like, let's say we've got a backing track like this one. This is just a very basic little A minor 7 chord progression to C major 6. So I do something like that, in my opinion, up in the higher register, like up around this area. I think that sounds really good for this backing track in particular. So my problem would be getting there. Instead of just, I mean, you can always just start off there, you know. Just start off right there. But, like I said, one thing I really like doing is building up to where I'm going. So I would start further down on the fretboard. In this particular lesson, I'll talk over pentatonic tapping stuff. So for that progression specifically, we'll start with an A minor pentatonic idea. So you've got now what I would do is pick one note from each string. So for me, I like using, again, basic intervals like fourths and fifths. So that's just a bunch of fourths and fifths and thirds. And a sixth at the end. Then I'd find a fifth up from that, or a fourth up from that. In this instance, we're going to use a fifth. You mirror the same shape, despite whatever the key may call for. You mirror the shape. So we're going to do it on E. So the right hand, we're going to play the same shape, but up on E. So, starting on the 12th fret of your low E string. It's kind of gives it almost a Dave Martone sound when you do it the right way. There's a couple different ways, even when it comes to the sequence of your hands that you can go with. My favorite one is actually 3 notes per string, I guess you'd say. You'd hammer on with the left hand, tap it with your right hand, and pull off with your right hand. So we're gonna have on the left hand, on the right hand. So you put it up together. It's a fairly basic idea, but it sounds really cool. I mean, you can just go ahead and straight tap it. But when this gets interesting is when you move it around. And a lot of this has to be kind of pre-planned out to get the shapes comfortable. I know a lot of people I've tried showing this to, and they'll try to change shape and all of a sudden they lose it. So you want to practice through both of them. But the 2 basic ones obviously is going to be major and minor. So we're sticking with minor right now. Say we want to get to, this area. That's our target little line. We want to work our way up there from all the way down here. So we're going to do that same thing. Then when we get to the end, we're going to move it up a third. We're going to move both hands up a third. So you've got left hand's going to go up to the C on your low E string. Your right hand's going to go to the G on the low E string. Now we're going to do a slightly different arpeggio. We're going to go, we'll do like a major 7 kind of thing. So do. So looking in terms of frets, you've got on your low E string 8 to 12, on the A 10, then 9, 10 on the D, 12 on the G string, 10 on B, and then 8, 12 on the high E string. Then you're just going to go on your way back down. Now you're going to do it with your right hand, starting on the 3rd fret of your low E strings, play the same thing underneath it. So you've got sorry going off the end there, but you get what I'm talking about. You can use this and then end it with a little slide to go up to where you want to go. So let's say we've got this progression going on in the background. Messed up there. Something like that. So if you put that progression going on, let me get up to our little target line there. And that's just simply using those 2 little shapes. It's something to think about. You can also do it with chords. I won't get too far into that, but the same idea if you're going through a chord progression. So you're doing like a D minor 7 on your A string. It's the same exact thing, just tap it a 5th or a 4th up. Any of this stuff works. They all work as little ideas. But the point, I guess, is kind of taking something really simple and making it sound more complex. And this is obviously, at least in my opinion, doing that a lot. You're taking a basic, turning that into essentially double or triple the notes, depending on how you tap it. But I hope that guy helps you guys out a little bit. If you have any questions, please hit me up on here or on Facebook, either one.